Very good afternoon to all. Welcome to Tally CA Connect. Thank you for being here today. So, in our last session, while doing the TallyPrime 5.0 features, we received a request to do a separate session on reconciliation features alone, so that for more detailed understanding. So, taking up this request, we have planned today's session. Our expert for today is Mr. Pugal T. Pugal sir is a senior consultant at Tally Solutions. He has over 37 years of wide-ranging experience in field of accounts, finance, statutory laws, and training. Pugal sir has conducted over 300 GST domain sessions for various stakeholders, be it chartered accountants, tax practitioners, Tally partner ecosystems, customers. In fact, even in Tally, he is our go-to person when it comes to Tally queries. So if Pugal sir says it can be done in Tally, it can be done in Tally. So jokes apart, thank you, Pugal sir, for being
Thank
here
you.
today
Thank you.
and agreeing to take this session at our CA Connect forum. I'm sure this session will be very useful for everyone. And the recording when we'll be uploading will be definitely be a repository for a few further reference. So thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kamal.
And
Good
a
afternoon.
request,
Yeah.
sorry, sir, just a request. So please do not put in your queries in the chat. Please use Q&A for the questions and definitely any comments or remarks by sir in the chat so that we can track all the questions and make sure everything gets answered. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Good afternoon, all of you. I'm really pleased to address the professionals or chartered accountant. After a long time, in fact, I'm addressing the esteemed professionals of chartered accountants. So, like Komal mentioned, basically we will concentrate on the reconciliation aspect of it. So, Tally provides reconciliation of all four returns, GSTR-1, GSTR-3B, 2A and 2B. And I'm sure that all of you are aware that the GSTR-2A is basically a dynamic information that you keep getting. And then, there is probability of before filing the return, the probability of the dealer deleting or modifying or uploading. And also, I'm sure all of you are aware that in case if a dealer is not filing the return or uploading the invoice for a particular month, and subsequently if he is uploading the invoices in 2A, it is going to reflect in the specific month. For example, if he's uploading for some reason, if he's uploading the invoice say for the month of April, if he is uploading in the month of June, even though it is uploaded in the month of June, it reflects for the month of April in 2A. But whereas 2B is something which basically is going to be a finalized ITC that a dealer is going to get. So we will start with 2B reconciliation. How are we going to do 2B reconciliation? What are the various steps that are involved, and what are the various techniques that we can apply for reconciliation of input tax credit? We will also see that how you can use a different use case and to make sure that the invoices that has been accounted uh, is getting reflected through the data that is uploaded by the other party on the portal. So let me just start Tally. I'm going to start with 2B, and 2A is almost going to be the same steps that we are going to do. So we will start with 2B, and then we'll see how are we going to look into 2A and the other reconciliation also. So first, let me just log into the portal. So I've logged into the session. So I'll start with
Sir, your screen is not yet visible.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I didn't share it, sorry. Yeah, okay, fine.
Yes, the Tally screen is visible.
Right. So I'm just logged into my GST account. So basically you click on exchange and click on login, and you will get the OTP request, and OTP is going to come. to the registered mobile number and the email ID. So I'm got the OTP. So I'm just going in and it says that GST session is logged in. So we go to be reconciliation. So there are two ways of doing. One is menu way, the other one is through the go to feature. So I just press Alt G and then I just type 2 and we can select to be reconciliation, enter, and this is the return. Let me just change the period for the month of April. So I'm going to change the period. Just going to say A and A for April. So these are the transactions that have been captured for the month of April. And now, let's say as a dealer, or you are going to do a reconciliation for your client's data. So how are we going to now download the form? See, one is that you can directly go and download all the written forms. I'm sure that in the previous sessions related to connected GST, our speakers would have basically, made aware of how you can download, and also by default it is going to allow you to download 6 months of the return. So I click on exchange here and we have this option called download GST return. Click on download GST return and we can configure this, and I'm sure that you are aware that you can also configure this by default in the F11 feature. When I go to F11 feature, and then when you come here, right, so you can set up, you have an option here which says set alter detail for downloading GST return. You can set it up, and this is going to be a global setup. So you can set up all return or which return that you want to download. So by default, you don't have to keep selecting the return. By default, once you set it up here, it is going to allow you to download only the specified return. I have now changed it to all return. So now I come to exchange, click on download GST return. And this is the Tamil Nadu registration, the demo data company that I have. So I'm going to click on configure here. And since I have configured in F11 feature as all written, it is showing all written. I come here. Now you can select a particular written or you can select more than one written also. So I'm going to select GSTR-2B, end of list. And the written period that I'm going to download is going to be for April to June month, July, April to July, because 4 months I have created a demo data which with various use cases which will give more clarity on how you can quickly do the reconciliation part. So either you can press escape here or press Control A, and I'm going to click on download. So now Tally is downloading from my portal the information. Okay, so it gave a message saying that unable to complete the download. So we can see here it says download could not complete for more than one written period. So when you click here, yes, it is going to tell you that what is the return that it is downloaded. So for the month of May and April, successfully it is downloaded, and it says for month of July and June, it has failed. It says try again. So we will see. Let's do April and May, and then we will see whether we are able to download the other months. So now when you come here for the month of April, we now see two figures. One, the font in black, which is the data as per Tally books of accounts. And the other one, what we see in blue, is the data that Tally is fetched from the 2B of this company. See, there are various ways that you can quickly reconcile the transactions of book and also the portal information. On top, if you see, you have, this is very, very important, very critical, and it's very easy for us to quickly, see what are the, basically exceptions that are there. For example, if you say, here it says, in the orange font that you're seeing is that there are some kind of a mismatch that is there. So it says unreconciled and it says available only in book. There are there are two transactions which are available only in the book, but it is not available as per the downloaded information from the portal. Number two, it also says that there are 4 vouchers or 4 transactions that are available only on the portal and not available in the books of account. So we can quickly go there and then we can quickly resolve, identify what is the mismatch or unreconciled information, and then we can take a call and then we can see how we can reconcile them. The other way of looking into the overall picture of the total input transaction that the dealer is captured and the information available as per 2B is we come down here to all other ITC and you press enter. It is now, if you notice here, it says that under import of goods, there are certain transactions which are unreconciled. And under the main ITC also, there are transactions which are unreconciled. And if you see the reversal aspect of it, it is reconciled. So we select, see, you can't select the portal line of information. So we select the transaction as per books of account, enter, and now it is going to give you the breakup as per the written form. It says that B2B, there are some difference here. So if you go to select this, and now if you see here on the right hand side, you are having this button called voucher wise, so that, voucher wise, now you can verify what is the transaction that you have captured as per book and what is the transaction that is getting reflected. And Tally by default, based on those key data point, Tally automatically verifies those key data points like the invoice number and the GST and various other aspects. Tally will automatically infer, and then if those criterias are matching, Tally will automatically put them as reconciled voucher. So wherever there is a mismatch, Tally is going to tell you what is the mismatch and the unreconciled aspects of it. So for us to view those information, click on voucher wise, which is on the right hand side button bar. And now we are able to see this voucher wise. So it says these are the 2 entries that is available only in the books, available only in the portal. And if you see here, most of them are reconciled by system itself. Now we can see what are the potential mismatch also. So for us to see what are the potential mismatch, you have this F12. Now one very, very important information that I want to share with the audience here is that especially when we are getting, for many of us, this is going to be a new experience, right? So especially for people who are getting into this reconciliation or GST related aspect of it, please remember that in every screen, if you are not getting something which you are looking for, just press F12 configuration. In every screen, you have F12 configuration, which is basically going to allow you to have certain options, which is going to make your reconciliation much, much easier and faster. So now I'm going to press F12 configure. Here, if you notice, you have this option here which says show portal value for reconciled vouchers and show potential mismatch between books and portal. So if you want to see Tally is reconciled a lot of transaction. If you want to see what is your transaction, reconciled transaction, just to make sure that they have been reconciled properly, you can click here and then set this to yes. And important thing that we want to see is you want to see the potential mismatch between book and the portal. So we're going to say yes here, and then I'm going to press Control A. And now we are, so the reconciled part, it is now giving you whatever is reconciled. The black font is the dealer's books of account and blue color is Tally portals information. So all this is done. So instead of having a long list of items, so what we do, we press F12 and we know for sure that system is automatically reconciled them. So let us not see the reconciled portal value. We will see the exceptional part of it. So in the exceptional part here, if you see, available only in the books of account, right? So if you notice here, it says that, okay, there are 3 more columns to the right. So one is that it says the taxable amount is 22,000 here, and I'm just moving to the right side. And you will see here the invoice amount is 20 1,560, whereas taxable amount is 22,000. So there is a difference here. So what is the difference? What could be the difference? Now, for you to quickly check what could be the difference, all you have to do is just select the transaction which is in black font, which is the books of account data. Just press enter, and we will see here that the TDS is deducted, and that is the reason why you are having this difference between the total book value and the TDS amount. So GST is calculated on the transaction value. Okay, so that is, since there is a difference in the value, you are able to get this thing. Now, if your clients are covered under TDS, and you know for sure that these mismatch or the variation could happen because of the, and if you also notice here, you will see that those entries ST. Okay, I'll show you a little later. So if you are, if you know for sure, instead of every time going and then individually we can mark this, and then or what you do is basically you have to mark this, and then we have to set the status, GST status, saying that yes, this is because the difference is because of the TDS amount. So that is the reason why it is not showing, it is showing only available in the book. Now for this, the simple way, like I mentioned earlier, the first thing that I would suggest is that you can just go up here and look for all this exceptions that are there, unreconciled thing. You can basically section by section you can resolve this instead of resolving the whole list of uh, transactions. So you see here, now it says Suraj trading. This is the two difference amount that we are seeing here. Again, when you press F12 configure here, we want to see show potential mismatch between book and portal. So I'm going to say yes and Control A. So here, because of the TDS, there is a difference in the value. Now we have again a global option under F11 feature where one time we can just go and set this saying that ignore the difference in the invoice amount and the tax amount, so that once we do that, Tally is not going to display this information as an exception. So for that, I just press F11 feature. We come down to enable GST, enter. And here again, remember F12 configure. I have F12 configure here. So we say one is that, zero prefix. Currently, you can, again, if what you have captured and the actual transaction that the invoice value, invoice number, you can set it up here, set this to yes, saying this, ignore zero if prefix in the supplier document is there. So that, Tally will ignore and it will not show that as unreconciled or mismatch. So we set this as yes. Then ignore special character if used in supplier document number. In case, if you have used special character, you can ignore this. This is again a global configuration that you can do. And in fact, you can do this ignoring of special character and ignoring of zero for each of the party account also. Because, certain party might have this zero thing, and they might have this oblique with year or some other character they will have. So one time we can go and say that Tally that you ignore this and then you reconcile it. So we can do that also. Now ignore difference in invoice amount. Okay, so this is where we set this as yes here, and ignore difference in books and portal value. We set this as yes here. Now when you come here, so this, the moment you say in F12 configuration that you want to activate this, those information will come here on the GST detail portal. Now here we come here and then we say that ignore zero value, yes. Ignore special character, yes. Difference amount in the invoice, ignore difference in the book value. Okay. Now for a moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this as zero because this rounding off is going to give you more exception or mismatch that I'm going to show you in the month of June. In the month of May, I'll show you. So currently I'm leaving this as 0, or I'll just put this as 1. And the effective date, we can set it up as the beginning of the financial year or whatever effective date you want to have. Enter. Now I'm going to save this. Enter. Now if you observe, in sec, I'll just come here, voucher wise. Actually, this is, this difference has to go automatically. Just trying to see. Okay. So just in case, if this is not happening, we know for sure that, this difference in the value is due to the TDS amount. So how do we now reconcile this? So for you to reconcile, since we know that this is the proper data that we have, just press space bar. And you see here on the right hand side button bar, you have set GST status. When we click on set GST status, one is system inferred is what automatically it gets reconciled. Now, when I click here, we have this 3 option. So one is excluded. We'll discuss about the use case of excluded little later. Okay, then we have this reconciled and mismatch. Basically we can also put them in the mismatch status and then later on see what is the reason for the mismatch. So we're going to say here reconcile. So the moment you do this as reconciled, you will now observe that Tally is giving you a separate categorization or section where it says these transactions have been reconciled manually by the user or the person who's reconciling this. It's a user intervention reconciliation, which is a manual reconciliation. Okay. Now here again we have this data here which says this info. So this also we can similarly reconcile this. Set GST status space bar and then you say reconcile. So now two data has been reconciled here. So we can come here and you can also see the GST portal view. All right. So here it is just showing you in the book. Let us just download once again. I think some data is missing. Now, just in case, okay, so now it was not, showing proper information. Now, what happens? You have already downloaded the information. Can you just remove this and re-import? Yes, we can do that also. So just in case if you feel that you want to start afresh, how do I do that? You click on F1 help here and under troubleshooting, we have this option here which says reset GST data. So when I click here on reset GST data, it will ask you what is the return that we want to reset. So let us say I want to reset all return and we download in each return form. Let us download this. Okay? And remove GSTR-1 file summary, not required. Then I'll say April to July. Okay, I don't want to take a backup. Enter, accept. And now it is reversing all the imported information from the portal. So it says reset GST and data for the selected period is successful. Just enter, and you will now observe that the GST information is removed from the company data. So we come here again, click on exchange, download GST return, click on configure. We are going to download 2B, end of list. Let us say we want to do only for April month. We'll do it month on month. And we say download. So it says download is successful, enter, and we have this information here. Okay, so now we have this information which says, if you remember, we had reconciled manually the two transactions with the TDS entry. So you will now notice that available only in book is now it is automatically reconciled. Now we come down here and press enter, voucher wise, and here now it says these are the three information that are available only in the portal. So which means these purchase transactions have not been captured in the books of account. Now there could be various reasons. So in the subsequent use cases, we will discuss about if it is available only on portal, what are the use cases under which you would want to take a decision or an action on that. So this way, basically anything when we see that the information that is getting reflected is fine as per the books of account and GST, everything is calculated like the way we saw in the TDS part, you can do a manual reconciliation. Otherwise, ideally what it will do, then in this case, ideally it will do is you can try this out. When you come down here and under F12 configuration, if you just say that ignore difference in book and portal value when you make this as yes, then automatically, Tally will, those differences which are there due to the other values being captured, which is especially in case of TDS, it will take care of that. Now let us come to the month of May. So we have to change the month, just say May. And month of May, again, since we have reversed all the downloaded information, month of May, let us again download 2B. We go to exchange, download GSTR return, configure. I'm going to say 2B. This time we are going to use for the month of May. Download. Okay, download is successful. Information has come here. Now here it says available only in the book is 2, available only on portal. So we quickly, for you to see what is this difference, you can just quickly click here and then see this information here. Right. So it says there is one purchase and then there is one debit note here. Okay. Then available only on the portal. So we have this again, purchase and debit note here, which again we have to see what is the difference. For that, we come down here, enter, and then go to voucher wise and see here. So now it says there are mismatch here. Okay. So again, for us to see the potential mismatch, remember F12 configure, and we can say that show portal value for reconciled voucher. We will say leave it as no. Potential mismatch, we make this as yes, control A. And then now it is going to, basically give you this information. Further breakup, it says available only in the book. There is one amount here. Then available only on portal, there's one amount is here. Okay, Rahul Singh. Then these are the mismatch amount. Now, if you see here, the taxable amount, it says is 26,575, but whereas on the portal, it is 25 only. Now, let us come here and enter here. And if you see here, when I click on spacebar, they have rounded off manually. All right. So because of that, Tally is giving you this, mismatch. So even though, it is showing you the correct value there, I mean, like this rounded off value is mismatched here. So again, here, if you see here, when you click here, okay, so the prices are there, basically that is one of the reason for the mismatch. So we can remove this also. couple of entries. I'm just going to do this. And this is where you will find, due to this rounding of the thing as accounted as per the book and as per the value in the portal. Again, we have a global option under F11 where, you can press F11. Just one sec. So here we have this ignore. So first we mark this here and then say F12 configure. And we also want to mark this, all this is yes here. Okay, Control A. And here we will set it up the difference amount. So difference amount, what we do is we just say 3 greater or lesser. And then again, the date is going to be 1/4/24. Whatever is the effective date, we can pick it up. So now we have, basically considered those areas, but then, we again see here, there is a difference between this figure. So when we click here, we just remove this portal value. The GST portal view, when you click here, so we are able to see this GST portal view. So again, we will see here, the black one is as per the book and this 25,000 is as per the portal. On the top here, what we are seeing is, again, the black font is as per book and this is as per the portal value. So it says invoice date is 1st of May, right? And the amount here, the taxable value, what the dealer is accounted is 26,575. And based on that, the tax is calculated, but actually 25,000. So there could be an error. So how do we correct this? We have to do a, alteration of the voucher entry. So we go here and if we make this as 25,000, so this is supplier invoice number is S111. Enter. Okay, Tally will automatically calculate the value. And now we will see here that this S111 from your mismatched entry, it has now come to system reconcile. So this way we can actually, see each transaction and then see what is the variance and take the right call based on why there is a difference. And then you do this. Otherwise, we can leave this as mismatch till we get more clarity. So let me just first take the question. In case there is a small mismatch in invoice number, will this take care of these kind of issue? Yes. If there is a small mismatch, especially the rounding of mismatch, up to 1 rupee or 2 rupee, I showed you in F11 where you can set up the rounding of difference of 2 rupee or 3 rupee, you can set it up. And once you set that up, then automatically Tally, with wherever there is this difference between the small mismatch, it will automatically consider as system inferred and it will automatically put it under the reconciled bucket. Okay, that's question 1 from Mr. Pitambar Jigyasi. The second one is
The second one
what
is by
if,
Pitambar Jikyasi. Yeah.
what if there is a mismatch in data due to wrong input in GSTR-1 by the seller party and we have to wait for them to amend it in the next month. Okay. Uh, so there is an option in Tally where in case if the person is going to amend it, there are two ways. One, whether that person before filing the return, whether he's going to change it, or after he files the GSTR-1, then, then in the subsequent month, he can raise the debit note, credit note, which will get reflected, and then we can do it. And we also have an option in Tally where you can move that particular transaction, your input credit, where you want to take it. In fact, for the month of June, I wanted to show that. Let me just try and show you that how you can move the invoice from one uh, tax period, return period, to another return period, so that you can take credit and reconcile them. So that I will just show that once we start here. Okay, now a couple of more questions also are there. I'll just take this. Okay. The next is from Mr. Suresh. Can we generate a reconcile report along with remarks, say matched, taxable value mismatch, invoice data mismatch, etc.? So when we see this, the report where we see the reconciliation report, I think we can file. I have not seen that. Let me just check this and then I will answer that. Next is Sanket Joshi. How to handle reconciliation when we have multiple GST number in same tally? Okay. So whenever we are trying to, when we have a multiple GST registration, right? So when you are trying to download the return from the portal, Tally, the moment you have more than one registration, Tally is going to ask you. So there is an option. One, whether you want to download the return form from the portal for all registration, you can do that. Or you can select a particular registration. It could be, let's say, Maharashtra registration or Delhi registration or Karnataka registration, and you can download them. And when we go to the return form also, by default, if you notice, the GST return form is basically going to give you consolidated thing. Again, on the right hand side button bar, you can select a particular registration, right? So that way it is very simple. I mean, like either you do download for all registration and do the reconciliation for each of the registration by selecting the each registration. That is possible. Okay, the company is loaded here. Let me just quickly continue with where we stopped. The reconciliation. Okay, so now we have this for the month of June. Okay, now we have this three information here. I mean, this this is the data that I was actually looking for. Thanks, Shanmukh. See, we have this three data here, right? So now only available on portal, there could be three use case scenarios. Okay. Number one is that a simple thing, easiest thing is that, by mistake, the vendor is captured wrongly your GST number. In fact, it is not the actual inward supply for this particular dealer, which obviously sometimes it happens. In fact, when I said I'm going to show you my live company data, there is one incident happened where it is not my purchase, but it is reflecting there. Okay. So here, if it is not your purchase, then it is appearing in your portal, but then you don't want to claim input tax credit. So how do we handle that? So that is where, basically you mark this here, and on the right hand side, you have the set GST status, and click here and you say that exclude this from my book. Okay. I exclude this. So that particular thing is actually gone. The second use case could be that let us again say that this is a purchase where it is a non-business purchase, and you want to reverse this. You don't want to claim input tax credit, right? So in that case, again, we can do a exclude option. The third one is that this is the month of June. Okay, so now the third scenario, let us assume that this is uploaded by the vendor on 30th of June. Just we will take a use case, and he is uploaded since he's made the invoice, or maybe he is taken a e-invoice and it will automatically get uploaded on June 1st. Now, as a dealer, I have received this goods only in the month of, say, July. Now I have accounted in the month of July. Now this is getting in the month of June. So what I can do is I can just move this. Basically, if I have I can take this and reconcile with the next month data transaction, and then I can do the reconciliation and claim that as part of the return period. Now again, if you see F12 configure here, we have something called as show effective date of return. So when you set this as yes, and when you say control A, it is now going to give you the effective date of return. So when I'm moving anything, that is basically what I have captured in my books of account. Okay, so this is something which is getting reflected. So if I've accounted that in the month of July, my July transaction for reconciliation purpose for the return period, I will move to month of June and reconcile that. So that is the third use case that we have basically for the month of June, which I basically wanted to cover this as part of the reconciliation process. The next one is, again, this is an interesting thing. I hope this data is going to be there. Okay. So if you see here, there is this entry which says available on portal. So let me just say, show mismatch. Right. So now it says potential mismatch is in the purchase transaction. So the blue color is as per portal. So in the invert supply that we have captured, if you see here, the document number or the supplier invoice number that we have captured here is, MG67. But whereas, the actual document number is this number, with the year and all those things. Now we want to, basically tell Tally to capture that data automatically and then do this thing. So how do we do this? Yeah. MG67 is there available. So it says now this number is available on the portal also. And there is this same number MG67 which is available in my books also. So here I press F12 and then I say show portal mismatch value, right? So now it is giving me potential mismatch is due to this. All other values are fine. Potential mismatch is due to the document number. Now, just we have to select this. And if you see here on the right hand side button, we have this button called copy document number and date from the portal. So the moment you select this, Tally will automatically copy the document number we would have captured in the supplier invoice number in our Tally. But the moment I do this, you will notice that the moment I click on this, it will automatically get reconciled. So I'm going to click on copy document number and date from the portal, right? So this will copy and you will notice that that particular transaction is reconciled. Okay. So this was another, very useful use case that we can look into it. So otherwise, basically you can see the difference. Now in the month of June, we saw some difference. Okay, so now there is a difference here to taxable amount. So if you want to see what is the difference here, so this is, okay, so this entry is here available only on portal. This is reconciled. Let me take the month of May, I think. May month. Six. Okay. So, basically, if there is any difference in the value, we can go on I just showed you that, how you can go and alter that information in the voucher. Now, quickly, again, 2A also we can see it is going to be the same thing. two-way reconciliation. So let's take the month of April. Exchange, download GSTR return. 2A. So let's take for the month of April. So this is your two-way reconciliation that we can do, and we will see the same kind of a uh, experience that we saw in GSTR-2B, which will say what is available in the book only, what is available on the portal. All this information is available, and here again we can see this voucher wise, and then we can see what is the mismatch thing available in the book, available on the portal. Now GSTR-1 also we can in fact we can do the reconciliation. Why we need a GSTR-1 reconciliation? We can just download the way I just showed. Let me just quickly see if I can download this here in this data. We're going to say GSTR-1, download. Again, we say configure. This time we are going to select GSTR-1 for the month of April. Download. So it is download successful. So this is the transaction here. Now, again, there could be two use cases for checking on the GSTR-1 return. See, sometimes what happens, the e-invoice generated for a particular day, certain e-invoice might not get transferred automatically to the GSTR-1 return. Okay, and also sometimes probably if your client is after filing the return, they have changed the data or something, just to make sure that most of the time this is going to actually reconcile. I mean, like, we should not have any difference since it is our data which we are uploading, right? So for this two use case scenarios, you can download, and then you can check the values that you have filed as per your GSTR-1 return that you have filed, and currently what is the value it is showing in your books of account. Okay. Now, just in case, right? So there are, you can keep uploading the invoice. I'm sure that in the previous connected GST session, the earlier speaker would have shown how you can file the GSTR return in case if something is missed out, how you can upload only the missed out transactions for GSTR-1 also. Probably you would have seen that. Now, quickly, I think we have just 1 minute we have. So can we, Komal, can we take Q&A, or is it okay? Can we
Yeah,
move?
I'm sorry, sir. Can we take?
Yeah, can we take this? See, we have time till 4:30. Okay. So now quickly, let me show you the live data of my company where, the GST2 reconciliation, how it happens, and how, the data is there, and which I'll just show you the complexity that the people have created and how easy, simple it is for us to do the reconciliation through Tally. Okay, for this, I need to disable my sandbox. Just 1 sec. I have to just. I have to disable the drivers of my sandbox. I'm just doing that. So
So
that
your
I can
tally
log
screen is
into.
not visible.
No, I'm not. This
Okay.
is the internal configuration that I'm doing. That's why I'm not using my other monitor. Just hold on for a minute. Okay. So now it should be visible there. Okay. So I'm going to now comment this so that now I'm going to use the live data. Uh, okay. Okay. This is the live data of my company, right? So I'm going to first log in, enter. I'm going to get OTP on my mobile. Okay, I've received the OTP 881723. Okay, so now I have logged into my live session. So we go to again Alt G, and then I'm going to say 2B reconciliation. So for the month of September, there are 32 transactions that has been captured. So let us download 2B for the month of September. Download GST return figure 2B September month. Download. So it is downloading the September month 2B from the portal. So download is successful. Okay, so there are, it is basically going to give you the, again on top here, mismatch. Okay, only available in book and only available on portal. So if you see here, mismatch for the current period, it says there are 7 mismatches. Okay, so here there are 7 mismatches which are there. So again, these are, if you see here, these are the rounding of values. Okay, so let me just press F11. Okay, set this rounding off now. All these options are made yes. Okay. Ignore 0 yes, special character yes, difference amount, book value. Now I'm just going to say 3 rupees. Okay, Control A, effective date 1/4/24. Accept. Make sure that again the difference value here is, I had put 3 rupees, right? 1/4/24. You'll see that all those 6, 7 mismatch which you saw there is basically due to the rounding off thing. So since I have now said ignore up to 3 rupees difference in the tax value, invoice value, or the total invoice value, Tally is automatic. Now this is going to remain as it is. We don't have to go and keep configuring this every time. Okay, once we do this, next time onwards, Tally will remember this and it will not show these as exception. So now these exceptions have gone now for me. Now it says available only in book 2 numbers. Okay, so these are the 2 transactions that I have entered here, and it says that it is not available there. Now again, there is we have to find out why it is available in my books of account, why it is not showing that it is not available on the portal. So this is where you come down here. enter, and then say voucher wise. Okay. And if you see this one particular thing, Sri Ramana Solvex, this is the available only in the book. Okay, this is the document number or the supplier invoice number. You will also see here that Ramana Solvex is here, which, the invoice number, actually I have, while accounting this, I had missed out 10 here. So that is why, Tally is saying that this is available in the book. And so if you want to see the potential mismatch, now this is where your F12 configure is going to help us. So we're going to press F12 and then we say, show me potential mismatch, control A. So you will see here that this is now linked together. It says available in your book is same value. Again, available on the portal is same value. The difference we'll notice here that, okay, the 10 is left out. Okay. Now this again, we can go and then change it. So this is where you change this on top here. Available only in the book here. We come here where you can fetch the document number automatically from the portal. So this is the figure. So again, we say here, show the potential mismatch, so that we can see what is the potential mismatch here. Now, this example I showed in the demo data also. So this is the difference. The invoice number is the difference. Again, you will see here, the moment you come to this particular screen, you have this option enabled, which says copy document number and date from the portal. I'm just going to click this and press enter, and you will observe that that particular exception is removed. Okay. So here it says available only on portal 20 numbers. So if you notice here, there are debit notes and credit note. Now, this is what I was telling. In fact, uh, the people, they have uploaded twice this invoice. I don't know for what reason. And this is where Tally helps us to do it. Now, for me to actually make sure that, these are not incorrect data, literally, I had downloaded the GSTR-2B Excel file, which we can download from the portal, and invoice to invoice reconciliation is done. And basically, why I'm telling this is the reliability of the reconciliation that we can do in Tally. Yes. Okay. So this is the actual transaction. Okay. So I have downloaded this from the portal, and the yellow one, that is all the transaction marked in yellow, is accounted by me in my books of account also. And the red one is, if you notice here, this is one invoice they have uploaded, this party, Click Tech Retail. And again, they have gone and uploaded this invoice, 8473. And that is why we see here in Tally, 8473 is the second time that they have uploaded. And 8473 is where they have again raised a debit. Now, for us to see this information, when you click on GST portal, it is now going to tell you this is the information that is available on GST, because we are seeing this in blue color. Okay? And it says it is a debit credit note, okay, which is that they have raised on 29th of September only. Okay? And this, if you see the additional invoice that they have raised, this is the second time they have raised the invoice and raised. So like this, basically this party, multiple bill, this error has happened. So that is why we are seeing this debit note, that party is raised. They have raised a credit note for all the invoices that they have subsequently raised. The portal, yes, the status. Well, this is one area that, basically I wanted to, show this data, and also, how the reconciliation can be done, because this is going to be a very, very cumbersome process for us to do this reconciliation like this manually. And just to reconfirm is what, those differences have been taken care of. So I think broadly, this covers the reconciliation part of it, where, we have seen the multiple use case scenarios, how you can, do the reconciliation of your GSTR-2B, 2A, and GSTR-1. One is basically for us to, reconfirm the values are matching. Okay. I think we can take Q&A now.
Okay,
Komal?
sir. Yeah. So, sir, taking the first question. So,
Yeah.
below ones, Shanmukh sir is helping us answering. So, we'll take from the top. So,
Okay.
first query is Pitambar Jagyasi. When there is change in invoice details done by vendor, it becomes difficult to reconcile, as it always try to reconcile with the original data and amended data is seen separately. Can you see the Q&A in the first, because it's a big query?
Yeah, let me just. This is from, what is it?
Yeah. Did you find it, sir?
No, I'm not able to see.
The first query, sir.
When there
In
is a
the
change in invoice detail done by vendor, it becomes difficult to reconcile. As it always try to reconcile with original data and amended data is seen separately. See, this is, I just want to know whether this reconciliation you're doing it from 2A or 2B. Because 2B, once the return is filed, I think, that is where, you are going to get the proper input credit that is there. Subsequent amendment that is going to happen will be through a debit note or credit note or an supplementary invoice, which will get reflected in the subsequent month. I hope this clarifies, Mr. Pitambar.
So next question you can take.
The second one, how to handle reconciliation when we have multiple. I think this I have already answered. So
Yeah.
Tally has a facility of reconciling registration wise, downloading return form registration wise also. So the next question, Mr. Sandeep Suresh, is GSTR-2B reconciliation works only for purchase vouchers with ITC, or does it work with journal voucher with ITC? Yeah. Whether it is purchase voucher or journal voucher, okay, so we can capture the information through journal also. Through basically, those transactions should be reflecting in the return form. The transaction will reflect in the return form only when those ledger masters are enabled for GST. And also we have to make sure that there is no uncertain. So let me just quickly show you. So in all our return, if you see GSTR-1 return, the last slide we have this uncertain transaction correction needed. So this should be 0 or it should be blank, right? So if any transaction which is uncertain, it could be due to a wrong treatment of a tax invoice, or some other clarification which is there, or when a party is marked as regular party and GST is not provided, it will go under uncertain. See, there are various, uncertain, reasons which are there, which you can identify them. It should not be there, because any transaction which is there in uncertain, okay, so we will not get the proper reconciliation for it. That is what you have to make sure. Otherwise, whether you pass it through purchase invoice or whether you pass it through journal invoice with GST implication, it will be you can do the reconciliation. Next is Mr. Sumit. I'm talking about small mismatch in invoice number. Suppose invoice number as per 2B is ABC123, but as per Tally it is 123. Will this take care? Yes. Now this is where, I had shown under F11 feature. Okay, ignore special character if used in supplier document number, right? So we make this as yes, and we have to go to that particular party. So we go to a particular supplier. Let me take this itself. So we have this option here where we can set it up for ignoring the special character. You have this option here under F12 configuration. It says ignore prefix and suffix for document number for reconciliation. Make this as yes. Okay. And then you have this option here, document number for reconciliation. You do this as yes. And now, because each party might have different prefix and suffix, this is what I had mentioned earlier. So party wise, example, Mr. Sumit had taken ABC, probably it could be the abbreviation of their company. And this person in every invoice is going to have this 3 character as the prefix. So here you have to say applicable from what is the date, what you want to ignore, whether you want to ignore prefix or whether you want to ignore suffix. You have to mention here party wise depending on the pattern of their invoice. Once you do this, then Tally will automatically reconcile. It will ignore that. It will not show that as mismatch. I hope this is clear, Mr. Sumit. Then Mr. Harindra Kumar, will we have to make entry item wise of purchase for effective reconciliation? You can actually, if you feel that there are 10 transactions which is due to some mismatch, and you're like, for example, we saw the TDS wala. So there are 2 entries. Now I don't have to go and make each entry. So you can select multiple entry and then you can set that status. You can say whether it is reconciled or whatever it is. It is not that you have to do one by one. You can select set of transaction for any kind of GST status that you want to specify. And Mr. Sandeep, for transaction only in portal, is there any way to get it entered in books automatically? Currently, we don't have that feature. You can't automatically account that. Next is, can we generate a considerable along with remarks? So this, I think I had already mentioned, but then, we have to see whether we can take a print of that. I have not observed that.
Pugal sir, the next question is by Mr. Sandeep. For mismatch in invoice, no invoice number between books and portal. Is there any option for bulk invoice, no updation in books as per portal?
For mismatch of invoice, no invoice number between books and portal. Is there any option for bulk
invoice number?
No updation in book as per portal. I'm not clear about this question, Mr. Sandeep. For mismatch in invoice number between books and portal, is there any option for bulk invoice number updation in the book as per portal? I have to check that, because it has to go to each and every party. It could happen. I'm not very clear. We will definitely reconfirm this to you, sir. Okay.
Sir, shall I take that question?
Yeah, take this
You
question.
have shown that actually document update option.
Yes.
One of the main one.
Multiple people.
Multiple, you can actually select multiple and copy from portal. If you click, automatic copies for all the transactions.
All the transactions of different parties.
Correct.
Okay, fine. So it does that. Yes.
So next is by Mr. Suresh. How the reconcile report categorize when transaction accounted in books in a month which is different from the month vendor reported in the GST portal?
Yeah. This is where it says as per book and as per portal. So let us say the vendor has uploaded the invoice. You had accounted in the month of April, and vendor for some reason is uploaded the invoice in the month of May. So when you go for the reconciliation for the month of May, it is going to show you that it is available only in books of account. right? So now when you are viewing, let us say that, when you contact the party, the vendor says that, I'm uploading in the next month. So this is where we have an option where you can, again, if you see here, you have this option where you can, if anything is there available only in the book, like for example, there is this entry which says available in the book, I can mark this, and you see here on the right hand side, let's say, let me take the same example. So I have accounted this invoice on 28th of September, but this party is not, let's say, is not uploaded this invoice on the portal. Okay. So now I have an option here. On the right hand side, we have an option saying set effective date, and you can now set the effective date. 2A, you're going to keep it as it is, because 2A is even subsequently also, any update is happening, it will get impacted on that particular month only. So in case of 2B, so you have this three option here. In case of 2B, you can now say that move this to the month of October. So once you say move this to the month of October, return wise, you are moving it, right? And you are, claiming that input tax credit in the month of October, where you have to do a book transaction in Tally separately. So that is where, you can move this to the subsequent month also. I hope this is clear, sir. The next one is, how can we reconcile two Tally data with same GST? No, not two Tally data. Okay, in the single company, you can have multiple GST registration, and you can do the reconciliation for each registration in this one single database of Tally company. In case of audit trail, how can we copy the voucher number? Shanmukh, can you just check on this?
Can you read the question, sir, once again?
In case of audit trail, how can we copy the voucher number?
The question itself, it is not very clear, because audit trail is different and this is different. The earlier question, what we answered was, if the document numbers are missing here in the book of accounts,
Yes.
can this be copied from the portal? It is possible for the multiple transactions.
Yes, that is possible. Yes. So we'll come back to you, sir. I mean, like, we'll have to get more clarity, or probably offline we will get in touch with you.
Yeah, or you can raise your hand so that we'll take it up as well.
Yeah.
So, sir, next question is Mr. Sanket Joshi.
Yeah.
If there is an omission of entry based on entry in 2B, can we pass the entry?
Yeah, we have to pass it manually. I mean, like, there was another question, another gentleman had asked, saying that can we automatically, missing entry from the portal, can we automatically do it in, capture it in Tally? Currently, we have to do it manually. Once we capture that manually, and if all those relevant fields are matching, then automatically it will get reconciled.
Yeah, adding to that point, if the data, if you want to actually bring from 2B to Tally, we have an Excel import option. If you can write the mapping file, you can actually import the data from 2B. Either you can try on your own, or you can contact our Tally partner, they'll help you for that.
Okay. So not just GST data, just to add to Shanmukh's thing, any data. I'm sure that all of you are aware that, we had provided Excel import facility, where Tally is also provided, sample Excel file for all accounting master, inventory master, accounting transaction, inventory transaction, everything is there. Like Mr. Shanmukh mentioned, we have to just map it. It could be for GSTR 2B data from Excel file, and or your own Excel file, you map it and then you can import it. Next question, Mr. Samir Sheikh. How do I take the report of the bills which I haven't booked in my books for a particular month? How do I take the report of the bills which I haven't booked? No, bills, which is what is going to show that is available in the portal. Like for example, here in this case, it says that, see, there are so many transactions which says it is available in the portal. So you have to basically cross verify and then see what is the thing. Like for example, if you see here, it says available in the portal is this party. The document number is actually, if you see the invoice, this document number is mentioned in the invoice, supplier invoice number, but when they uploaded, they are saying that same party. You will see that Sri Kandan Metal. Okay, the amount is same, but when they uploaded their invoice number, they have captured as 2072. And now we know for sure that this is the same transaction. All we have to now, since this is the data that is available on the portal, which is captured already, all we need to do is just go and change this number. Like, let me just say, change this number. And again, if you see here, the original invoice was on 28th of September, but they have raised this invoice dated 30th of September. So once we do this, we can, reconcile them, and then, it will go into the automatic reconcile, or it will go into the manual reconcile. Okay. So we have to check all the transaction which is saying available only on the portal, and you have to make sure that whether that is genuinely your inward supply. If you know that it is an inward supply, we have to account that one manually, or like Shanmugh had mentioned, through Excel import also we can do it. That's the only way that we can do it. This is composition, Mr. Suminta Sen. How to book 1% cash payment liability for output tax in Tally. So Tally has a composition scheme where it takes care of the composition 1% also it takes care. So that what we are discussing here is for the regular dealer, sir. Yeah, Shanmugh, you want to add something?
No, sir, you are right. That's
Okay, the next question says sometimes the vendor doesn't raise debit note or credit note. Instead, they directly amend the invoice amount, table value, CGST, SGST. What will be the process in this scenario? As far as I remember, I mean, the other the professional started accountants can validate. See, once you file your GSTR-1 return, then the amendment cannot be done. You have to do the amendment subsequently with a new this thing. So they cannot go and change the invoice. All this is happening in your e-invoicing. You have a timeline where you can go and amend it. Otherwise, also e-invoice says that you have to cancel it and then redo it. Okay. So this is where when you do your 2A reconciliation, because 2A reconciliation probability of the values changing is pretty high, because the other person has not filed the return. Until and unless the other person is not filing the return, probably they would have uploaded the invoice and they would have realized that it is a mistake. Then they can delete that also, right? So until and unless GSTR-1 is not filed. So once the GSTR-1 is filed, I don't think this scenario would arise, sir or madam, I don't know. So there's one more. Our actual question was, how can we reconcile multiple datas with same registration? That is, we have two branches in the same state. This is exactly what I was telling. Probably if I was not clear, see, if you have two branches, let us say you have one Tally company separately for one branch and another Tally company for another branch. This you cannot do the reconciliation. In any case, you can do this as an independent thing. What we are just now seeing here on the screen, you download independently for each of the database of Tally, and then you can do the reconciliation. But what I was mentioning is that Tally has a facility of having multiple GST registration in one single Tally company. So one Tally company I can create, and in that I can have my different registration of my different state and manage file written in one single database of Tally for different state registration I can do. Same way, reconciliation also can be done for different state independently. The facility is available in Tally. I hope this is clear, sir.
Yeah, moving on, sir. Mr. Rajiv is saying how to deal with ITC not eligible. In case I enter the GST amount, it remains in the input ledger. If I do not enter the GST amount, mismatch remains in the reconciliation.
Yeah. So what we do is, I mean, in case of ITC not eligible, okay. So One is that if the entire value is not eligible, I showed you in the earlier one that you just say excluded. Okay, once you say excluded, and then what we are going to, it is going to reflect, because these 2B values are going to reflect in your 3B. So we have to now, in Tally, we have this option where you can pass a stat journal for a reversal of your input tax credit. So once you reverse that, then from your available input tax credit, reversal is directed and the net input tax credit availability is there, which is what will be part of your input credit ledger. Okay, so you have to pass that entry here if it is a full amount or partial amount. Okay, so otherwise, if you're going to do a partial amount, then you say that, see, the whole idea of reconciliation that we are doing here is to make sure that your ITC that you have captured, or the amount of ITC you are eligible to claim for a particular period, is reflecting with the actual data available. Okay, so that is the whole idea. So you can always, once you are clear that, like you want to take partial, then you mark that as excluded, or push it into whichever reconciliation you want to do. You take that as manually reconciled and then pass a reversing entry. So once you pass reversing entry, this 2B value, which gets reflected in your 3B, when you pass a stat journal as part of your various reversals, there are various rules and sections where you have to reverse your input tax credit. That in any case will reduce, and when you're filing, only that much of value will get captured. So that system should take care, and whatever changes you are doing, Tally helps you to capture that through a stat journal.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the next is Mr. Rajiv, how to deal with ITC not eligible. Acha, we just did
That we have
this.
just now cleared,
Yeah.
yes. Then how do we
What
take?
about any import bills are there in portal? Before that, I think Shanmukh sir is saying,
Yeah.
how do
Yeah,
I
yes.
take the report of the bills which I haven't booked in my books for a particular month?
Yeah, that also I think he clarified. Yes, Shanmugh, go ahead.
No, sir, you have answered that. That's available only. Portal is the answer.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. What about my any import bills are there in the portal?
Shanmugh, would you want to take that? Because I have not dealt with this import. See, one is that you have that automatically downloading that. I'm not very clear about this part. So Shanmugh, if can you take it? Or we
sir,
can
what
get back to
about
you.
any import bills are there in portal? I think this question is not clear. Sir, you please leave your contact details. We will want to
Yes.
understand more about it.
Yes.
Okay. So Mr. Yogesh, you can share your details. We will contact you. Next is by Priyanshu Sangi. Suppose there is an invoice recorded in books without input as RCM is applicable on the same. And in 2B, the same invoice appears as RCM applicability as yes. Then in such case, how will it reflect?
Again, we will have to come back to you, sir. We will definitely come back to you.
Okay. Pitambar Jagyasi, when there is change in invoice details by the vendor, it becomes difficult to reconcile as it always try to reconcile with the original data. And amended data is seen separately.
That I think
Regarding this, you
now,
can
yeah,
check that reconciliations are done with the original data. We are unable to clear entries which are B2BA, that is amendment by vendors.
change
If
in
you
the
can see in the Q&A.
yeah, I'm just seeing that when there is a change in the invoice detail done by vendor, it becomes difficult to reconcile, as it always tries to reconcile with original data and amended data is seen separately. Regarding this, you can check that reconciliations are done with original data. We are unable to clear entries which are B2B A amended, B2BA, that is amended by vendor. Again, Mr. Pitambar, we will definitely check on this particular use case and come back. See, because we have not come across this use case, and we will definitely come back to you with the proper answer, whether it is possible, or if it is possible, how can we, reconcile that? We will definitely give clarity to you.
Okay. Next is invoice date is 15th May or effective date is 1st April. I think Shanmukh has already answered this.
Yes.
If I change the effective date like 1st April, then my May month is gone wrong. Actually, Shanmukh sir reverted to do the effective date on 1st April, right, sir?
Yes, yes.
But
That
he's
was
saying
actually
that if
my
he does
answer.
that, then the May month is coming wrong.
Yeah, yeah, understood. So I think sir has not convinced with that answer. Sir, please share your contact. We will also want to understand in detail about this scenario.
Okay. So, last one question, a difference in voucher number because Tally takes the automated voucher number, whereas in portal value, the invoice number is taken. During this, there is mismatch in every month. What settings to be done for this?
Yes.
Arva
You are
Bhaiwala.
seeing my screen here, right? So you see this, the voucher number is nothing but the, let's say I make a purchase entry and my purchase voucher is set to automatic. So you see here that the voucher number is 54 automatic voucher number as per my books of account. Okay. But I have captured the supplier invoice number in the supplier invoice number field. So let me just enter here. So this is my automatic voucher number. This is the supplier invoice number that is captured here, right? But then again, for this you have, see, some people, what, if you want to capture, some of you would have made as manual number where you capture the supplier invoice number. There is a option in F11 feature also. Otherwise also, all you have to do is just like I said, in every screen, please remember to check the additional information that you can do or additional configuration that you can do with the F12 configuration. Now here you see the third and the fourth option, show document number, show document date. This two, if I make this as no, okay, so you will see this only voucher number and it is going to give me the mismatch part of it. So actually, Tally will remember that document number there. So for us to cross verify that there is no mismatch, you press F12 configure and just make sure that document number and document date is made as yes. And this way you can now check this. Okay, so ignore this voucher number. This is your internal number. Check the document number, and sometimes you might find the same thing. Like I saw, like the example that I gave you is the date of the invoice and the account, the original invoice is changed here. But I know for sure that these two are the same thing, right? So then we can look for potential mismatch. Again, I press F12 configure here, and I say show me potential mismatch here. It's just saving. So I can now go and change this here. So if it is one or two case, because since it's a date and the number difference, it is not adding to the potential mismatch. So by enabling the document number and the document date, you will see the supplier invoice number that you have captured in Tally, sir.
Yeah. So, one question actually, the question was, can I copy invoices which are available on portal only into the Tally? So Shanmugh sir
We
has reverted
we had answered
yes.
that, yes.
Yeah. So, but he's saying, how can we do it? Can we give a demonstration of the same?
No, what Mr. Shanmugh mentioned is that Tally has a feature of Excel import. So any data that you are capturing, one is that one time you have to do a map. That is why Mr. Shanmugh also mentioned saying that you can do it yourself. Otherwise, I mean, like you can get in touch with our partner, they would have done this template. So ideally, you have to do a one-to-one mapping, like what, in which column, what field that you have captured, and what is the corresponding field in Tally. So mapping is also available in Tally. It's a little longer process. We can't demonstrate this now.
Okay.
Probably, and what we do is, we can do a separate demo for you, sir, at your convenient time, or we will set up a demo separately for you so that you can understand that better. Because we can't do this in 2-3 minutes.
Noted, sir. Yeah, yeah. So we're just shorter time. So just the last question, I think, Shanmugh sir, that is in voucher settings, there is option pre-fill with 0. Can it be changed from specific date? So Shanmugh sir has reverted, yes, can set from date. But Mr. Pitamba has reverted that it is not showing any date. Shanmugh sir?
Sir, just can you go to this voucher alteration and show one, sir? In voucher alteration.
From this report?
Any voucher alteration, voucher type alteration.
Yeah. Mr. Sanjeev, you have a query for
New
us.
voucher,
You
is
have
it?
been raising hand.
Voucher type alteration, this
Voucher.
prefill option comes, no? Voucher number
Sorry,
prefill
your
option.
voice is breaking.
Voucher type alteration.
Oh, voucher type. Okay, fine. Okay, so I can do this here. So we have alter master. Okay, so we go to voucher type and we can select any particular voucher type. Okay, this is the one you were saying?
That prefill 0 option will come.
Oh, that one.
Go
Okay,
to,
fine. Okay, so now you also have this set alter additional numbering detail. So when you come here and when you make this as yes, right? So here you can set it up. Like for example, what is your starting number? Okay, and width of the numeric part. Supposing, let us say you say for the entire year you want 3-digit or 4-digit. So I'm going to say 4-digit. Now, when I say 4-digit, it will start with 1. So if you want to prefill with 0, you have this option here which says prefill with 0. You just have to make this as yes. And now, if the voucher is up to 9, and since we have told that numeric part is 4-digit, it will say 0009. When it comes to 10, it will say 0010. So like this, it will keep pre-filling for the balance of the width of the numeric part. I hope this is clear, sir.
Yeah. The question was actually about the applicable date. Sir, this is the date where the date is coming. So where you can put the applicable date from.
And you can change your prefix or suffix.
Yes.
Like for example, if you are continuing the subsequent year, let us say 23-24 you have completed and 24-25 you want to do, and let's say you want to give a suffix of oblique 24-25. In that case, what you do, I'll just come here and I don't want to give any prefix, so I want to give suffix. I want to give suffix here, so I just say from 1424 and I'll say /24-25. And now from 1st of April 24, automatically Tally will change your prefix or suffix to whatever you are mentioning here. This is the one, na, Sharma?
Yes.
Yeah. So, sir, I think just last two queries, and then we can actually wind up overshooting. One is, suppose in case of invoice having multi-rated products and in books it is recorded in consolidated manner, but in 2B the same reflects separate rate-wise. Then how do we proceed in this case? The Priyanshu
Consolidated,
yeah.
which is
Yeah, it has to be done manually only. Since in your book you have consolidated, but there are supplier uploaded separate invoices. Manually you have to check and reconcile it.
Okay, noted. The last query is there a demo for statutory adjustment for input credit utilization versus output liability? As we cannot find that on Tally Solution website, as that provides all details for exceptions, statutory adjustment, and voucher.
Yes, we have that link we can share, help file. In help.tally solutions, you can find. Still, otherwise, we will also share that particular link. They can use it.
So, can we find it now, or it will?
No, we will share that. Please share your email ID, sir. We will share with you.
Okay. Okay, so I think we can conclude this session. I think Mr. Narendra Sharma is also in continuation to that. The statutory adjustment will also appear in 3B reports, as well as to show the net balance in the credit ledger matching with the tally ledger. So he has shared his email ID as well. So okay. So 3 people we are going to revert on email. So we'll do that. Okay, so it's 4:45 almost, and we still have over 100 people with us. That's great. Thank you so much, Pugal sir. I think this is the first session where we have taken a detailed thing on the reconciliation and we've covered all the GSTRs. And thank you so much, Shanmugh sir, for answering, I think, almost over 40 queries with us. And thank you for the audience for staying here and being a patient listener. Thank you so much, Pugal sir. These reactions are coming in for you. And definitely, please do keep on giving us what topics you would want to know. And that's about it. So when you tell us what topic needs to be covered, that's how we can make the session more engaging and more helpful for you. Thank you so much, sir. I will now end the session.